What up, yo, Corey Resilient. I know it's been a while. I haven't made a video, but I got a crazy video right now that I want you guys to really honestly think about because this shit hit me like a ton of bricks today. Hit me like a ton of bricks. I've always known, these devices obviously to be a threat, against your health. You know what I'm saying? It kind of makes us isolate because we feel like we can just communicate with everybody right here on our phone, so we don't really have the need to go and be social. You know what I mean? Because it's right here. I don't need to get up, use all this energy to go and try to make friends when I can just or communicate with people or become a part of social events because I can just do it in a group on Facebook or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes you detach basically from society. You know what I mean? But I was thinking about what happened to me here, and $700 phone that I still have to pay the bill for, which is like $95 a month, is smashed. Like, it's not just the screen, like the phone, it's not working. You know what I mean? So, and everything's closed because of COVID-19 right now. But I was thinking, what if I had kids and I had to go pick my kids up at school and I had 30 minutes, but I was like, in the hospital in another city over because something happened to a family member, and I'm at the hospital and I drop my phone and it smashes or something, or you're stuck in a traffic jam. There's a possibility that, like, what if you couldn't get a hold of nobody to go pick your kids up, and you just and you had no way to get there? What if you were jammed in a traffic jam and on the 401, like in between Toronto and Hamilton or something, and your phone broke and you were trying to get there or get to somebody that has a phone and you couldn't, and you were jammed the whole time in a traffic jam for like hours, and you gotta go pick your kids up. Now nobody picked your kids up. What if some predator took advantage of that moment or some crazy shit and lured your kids out and said, "Oh, I'm here to pick you up," because he noticed them just standing there? There's fucking, there's that should never be a possibility. But just because we're so dependent on our phones, we think we're okay. Like, oh, I can just call the school and tell them I'm not going to be there to pick them up, and for them to wait with my kids until I can contact the father to go and pick them up. But you can't do any of that. You're in a traffic jam. You know, it's like COVID-19. You can't go near people, to ask them to use their phone. You could risk, whatever. Like, they don't want to go near you right now, so they're not going to let you use their phone. Like, what if that happened? But that's the reality, is that probably is happening out there in the world. you know there's so many ways that, you know being dependent on a cell phone could ruin your life. So that's what this video is about, is how being dependent on a cell phone could ruin your life. you know and we're so dependent on cell phones, and it could affect your whole, like, look at me right now. I have a Koho card with money on it, and the majority of my money is in a savings compartment within the account. In order for me to make transactions, I have to transfer that money and put it into the so-called, like, checkings account. So I don't have a phone now, and I can't do it from my laptop because I already tried, and it makes you have to use a cell phone to log on in order to transfer your money, which kind of weird, kind of sucks. Um, but that's with a lot of companies that are sole, like, based on a phone. It's a mobile thing. But anyways, so now I can't access my money, and it happened when I was way out near a lake, and I knew I had to transfer more money into my checkings account so I could buy water, food, things like that. If I get dehydrated, it was really hot, I could start getting heat stroke and be like, oh my god, I need to go get some water, I need to get some food, whatever, right? But I couldn't get food, and it was like an hour and a half bike ride. It was like 82 kilometers plus to get back, into town. And even when I get there, what am I gonna do? I don't have a cell phone, so I can't transfer them. Now I can't access my money. What if something bad happened, where I needed that money as an emergency right away, or something even worse was about to happen? You know what I'm saying? Like heat stroke, and I planned on going all the way out there, and as long as I got a bit of pocket money, there's a gas station not too far away or something, where I could get some food, water. I'm gonna be too tired to do an hour and a half bike ride all the way back. Took me 82 kilometers to get there. Okay, when I get there, I need to pitch my hammock. I need to chill. I need to go to the gas station first before I get over to the more excluded forest lake area where it's going to be difficult to get back to it. Anyway, so I get my munchies, I get my drink, so that way I don't dehydrate and get stuck in a bad situation where I'm an hour away from anything. You know, I'm not about to be going, drinking out of a lake, and then getting a worse situation happening where I get violently ill and die out there. You know what I'm saying? Or something, some bacteria. Who knows? It's those things have possible. There's potential for those things to happen. But anyways, it just made me think that's terrifying. That my phone can break and all of a sudden I don't have access to my money. You know, um, that was just my situation at the time, but that's a lot of people's situation. Like a lot of people are with Coho, a lot of people, whatever, operate in the way that I do. There's a lot of different scenarios that could happen that would turn your life would become a nightmare pretty fast if you didn't have a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're out in the bush, whatever. There's multiple scenarios I'm sure that you could think of personally, um, and it's scary. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to make that aware because I even got caught off guard where I was like, I can't believe this is how I can't get my money. I'm starving. I'm thirsty. What am I gonna do? Go and panhandle? No. Like drive my bike all the way to the gas station in the steaming hot sun where I'm already dehydrated and exhausted. I could have jumped in the lake and cooled down, but then I knew that was gonna fix my dehydration problem. You know what I'm saying? So, and I can't be drinking the lake water. So. I mean, of course, you could be like, oh, well, find a river and all these other scenarios and shit. But my point being is that, you know, um, if you're not one of those people, which most people aren't, and don't have those, wouldn't even think of something like that in an emergency situation, because most people aren't trained in that way to live like survival skills. You know what I mean? But that's why it's important, by the way, to gain that knowledge and those skills. But and get as far away as you can from dependency on this stuff, man, because it just this just it just hurt me bad. I pay a $95 a month bill with Bell. um, I owe every other company. I'm just trying to build my credit back now because I did dumb stuff when I was like 19. I'm 28 now, but uh, so I have to keep paying that $95 a month bill regardless, even though I have no phone. I can't get another one because I cannot afford. I got a zero down payment. So you can get a $700 phone on a zero down payment plan. But most phones that are actually what I need, that is good enough. I needed more space. I ran into so many problems that stressed me out about the other phones that limited me for what I do with YouTube and all that, where I was like, I need a proper phone. I can't be stressing out about these little things, and that's the way it's all designed too. Is like that's why I'm just getting to the point where I just want to let go of all of this stuff because it's destroying my life. You know what I'm saying? It's creating sickness in me. Like I feel sick because I'm stressed out about phone problems. That can't be happening. You know what I'm saying? And it is with a lot of people. So everybody has a phone. Not to mention the radiation that it gives off, that people are so stupid that they think, oh, it's just a little bit. It's not going to really do nothing to you. Yeah, over 20 years, a little bit of radiation every single day, 24 hours a day, right beside you is not going to do nothing to you. Okay. Good luck. You're an idiot. So a lot of people put their faith into man or into science, and it fails them, and they die. But who can they prove it to? They're dead. You know what I'm saying? So you want to keep believing in that way of life, then you're going to find yourself in a really bad place one day. And it's going to come out of nowhere, like me, where I broke my my phone. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, oops, I didn't realize there was that many things attached to just me losing my phone. I figured, whatever, I'm a body, I got legs and a heartbeat, I'm good, you know. But turns out everything that we live off of is dependent through this phone and the internet, and that's bad. That means if these things were to fail in the internet, we would be fucked. Like, it would cause havoc and chaos and possibly death and possibly destruction in people's lives. Like, you know, there's multiple scenarios that I can think of that would just be mind-boggling to think that if you lost your phone at that very moment in the middle of this process, you would be completely in a very, very bad situation. That there would be little that you could do to change, and it would lead to a domino effect of more problems immediately. You have to be in control over everything at all times using this device. This person's meeting you there, and if you don't show up at that right time, then he's going to miss the meeting with this person, which is going to lead you to lose out on $3 million business deal or something. Or you got to meet this person. There's time frames with everything, and everybody's relying on other time frames, and we're using our cellular devices in order to communicate with each other to make sure everything happens in a synchronized order, so everything can progressively be successful. You know what I mean? Everything can be successful. So this advantages us in a lot of ways to make things more possible than they would have been if we didn't have this. You know what I mean? So a lot can happen now because we built this entire, network and system and way of life dependent on these cell phones and that way of communication in order for everything to work out in perfect balance. That's not good, you know. Um, why? Because these things break like nothing. Boom, smash, it's broken. You're in a bad situation. Just like if you were to take your truck out into the middle of nowhere, that truck is your lifeline. If it dies, you're dead. If you don't have a phone, or the phone, oh, you're dependent on a phone. So you're like, oh, I'll just call the emergency and they'll come save me. Your phone's not working. Your truck died. You're dead. You have no survival skills. You are dependent on your cellular device to save your life or that vehicle, and it's neither of them is going to do that. You know what I'm saying? They could fail, but what won't fail is your ability to survive, your skills, the things you've learned. Like, immediately, you're trapped in a desert. Your shit broke down. Most people just sit there the whole time trying to fuck with their phone to try to make it work, stressed out, panicking, not knowing what they're gonna do. But like, other people that are like, have those skills would immediately be like, okay, I have to create fire, or I have to go find a water source, and a water source is near a mountain 6 feet under the ground that deep, so I gotta dig a hole. Immediately, you have to use your energy to accomplish those things in a survival situation that just went boom. But we're dependent on our phone, so we think this is gonna save us. We think the car is gonna, you know what I mean? Being dependent on things instead of yourself could lead to death, destruction, chaos, or ruin your life, so to speak. So that's what I was thinking, and I don't really hear people saying and talking about that. We're just living our lives like nothing could go wrong when it just happened to me. And then I was like, wait, I'm like, then boom, 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 bunch of things connected, and I realized my whole day was fucked. I was like, what am I gonna do now? That just ruined everything right today. And it could have been a lot worse. And I still have issues that I got to deal with that are causing me a lot of stress in my gut right now. Like the fact that I got to pay a $95 bill per month and I can't even get a new phone. And if I buy a new phone from a pawn shop or somewhere that's not even open right now because it's COVID-19, okay, if it's not unlocked, my Bell SIM card won't work with this phone, and I can't cut the bill off because I still owe them like $600, probably more, for getting this $700 phone on a zero down payment. They just add onto your bill. My bill would be $70 a month, but it's $95 a month because I got a zero down payment cell phone and just pay a monthly thing to pay off the phone, and that would take a time frame of like 2 years, so now I still have to pay all that off. This whole phone, I didn't get insurance on it because maybe I'm dumb, I don't know, but yeah, I never got it. Just seems so much more expensive. I couldn't afford insurance. You know what I'm saying? I already couldn't afford a phone, but the thing is, you can get zero down payment, and the opportunity for that to happen is what draws you in the first place. Like, I didn't have no choice. I needed a phone. I had to get a phone right away. I didn't have money. I had to get a zero down payment. Did I have to get a $700 phone? Not necessarily, you know. But did I get a $700 phone because I've had the cheaper phones before, and it's created a lot of stress and problems for me in order for me to progress and make YouTube videos and do what I need to do? Yeah. So it led me to get this, and but that's irrelevant. That's besides the point. The point is, like I said, is that being dependent on these cellular devices or being dependent on our cell phones can ruin our lives in multiple ways. We just can't see it yet until it happens, and you're in a situation where other opportunities are not there. Because we could come up with a million excuses right now and say, well, you didn't. First of all, you didn't have to get a $300 phone. Second of all, I'm sure that you could just like go up to a stranger and use their phone. Third of all, I'm sure you could, you know, go home and find someone else's phone to use. But you know what? Everybody's circumstances are different. You're in a different situation than everybody else. Those certain things may not be available at the time, and most likely, when something like this happens, they usually aren't there. At least in my life, because I have the worst luck in the world, I guess. I don't know. But it's all possible. So let's start making a quick video on my crappy laptop camera. Probably can't hear me well, uh, but I gotta get a new phone. And right now, I already had to get a whole bunch of stuff, and that's just like I can't. Like, I literally have been depriving myself. Like, for example, not spending my money on clothes, new hats, new shoes, like all this stuff that I used to make sure. Like, I would buy clothes and hats and shoes and be broke and not care as long as I look good. You know what I mean? I did that most of my life. You know what I'm saying? It's not wise, you know. But I looked fresh all the time. I looked good all the time. You know what I'm saying? That advantaged me in certain ways at the time, you know. But um, as you get older, you realize you want other things more long term, you know, in your life, and doing that's not wise, you know. So I suppressed myself. I stopped buying nice stuff for a long time. Clothes. I even just stopped getting clothes, you know. And I got the same shit on all the time. And I was never like that. That hurts my feelings. Like, I'm somebody that's like, if you step on my shoe and scuff it, I'm willing to die over that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or kill somebody. Like, that's how serious I was about my fashion and clothes and my shoes and all that stuff. Like, I was one of those guys, but um, I had to force myself out of that, which hurt because it was depressing to be that material person and then try to transition into the self-discipline. You got to suppress yourself. You have to make yourself feel like shit. You have to suffer in order to gain later. You know what I'm saying? Which was hard for me because I've already suffered enough, and I just can't suppress myself any further. I need to gain, and I can't suffer right now in order to gain later because I'm already suffering to such an extent that it's just something's wrong. You know what I mean? It's just not possible. If I was okay and I started, I'm not doing too bad. I'm all right, so I can suffer for a while to gain later, but that's not the case. Anyways, point being, um, I kind of got off topic a little bit, but anyways, you guys get the point. Being dependent on cell phones or cellular devices could ruin your life, and in a lot of ways that we can't see, that are invisible to our current situation right now, like to our reality, we can't grasp it. We can see ways out of everything, and we can make excuses how this won't ruin my life. You're tripping, you're overthinking, whatever, right? We can make up a million, but when it happens to you and you end up in a situation where you realize that you failed by putting all your faith into this device and being dependent on it so heavily that it could affect the rest of your life in a negative way, then you'll find out. Anyways, peace. Corey Resilient, hit the like for me. I feel like this video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit the bell if you want to see when I upload future videos and stuff like that. Or if you're a hater, hit the dislike, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment. Let me know your experience and what you guys think. Anyways, man, peace out.